We are here with Lawrence Smith, the new head coach at Crisp County. The Cougars coming off a fine year, but now facing their third head coach in 3 years as Coach Patrick moved on to join Ohio State staff as a quality control assistant, and as offensive coordinator. Lawrence Smith, a former NFL player, is the new head coach. Now, you did have 1 year as a head coach at St. Francis about a decade ago, Coach. But now you step into this role. How excited are you about once again being a head coach?
I'm extremely excited. When I took over at St. Francis, I was the first head coach in that program's history. And I was a young coach, not knowing a lot. Over the years, I feel like I've learned and learned a lot of things and what I need to do to be ready to be a head coach. And I'm excited about this opportunity.
A lot of times I say that coaches that get the second chance to be a head coach, kind of like the Bill Belichick theory, learn a lot between their first and second job, but you've got a decade in between. So I would imagine you've learned a lot in that decade, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Learned a lot about myself as a coach, learned a lot about how to be a better coach for my assistants as well as my players.
How easy is it for you to now transition since you were at Crisp last year? You had a good team. You guys were 9-4, won a region title, lost to Cedar Grove in the state quarterfinals. So how much easier is it for you to be able to just simply transition now into a program and with kids you already know?
That's the big key. The kids know me and I know the kids. The things that Coach Patrick implemented, as a foundation in our first season here last year, a lot of the things are the same. I have a few wrinkles that I like to throw in, but Coach Patrick and I, we coached together for a number of years, and I think we grew together in this profession, and we have a lot of things that we do similarly, and that's the same thing that we're continuing this year.
And that'll be very beneficial to a team that has a lot of starters back. In our next report, we'll talk about that and what we can expect from Crisp County this year. Lawrence Smith is set for his first season as the head coach at Crisp County. The Cougars coming off a 9-4 season, a region championship. And Coach, your offense, you were the offense coordinator last year. You guys scored right at 31 points per game. You got to replace your quarterback, Jack Carter. You got to replace Marquise Palmer, your running back. But you have a pretty good number of skilled players still coming back. Do you expect a big drop-off from that offense, or do you think you'll still be explosive in 2022?
I expect our offense to be just as explosive, a lot more experienced. Losing guys like Jack and Marquise Palmer, like that, those are huge knocks. Great guys, great players, great kids. But, having a great returning group, you're experienced another year within the system, and the knowledge and knowing the system for the kids, I think, is something that'll help us become more explosive.
What's your quarterback situation like right now? Is it a competition?
It's a competition. Markevion Hardage, who's a sophomore for us, he's returning from last year. He's done a pretty good job. Of course, A.J. Brown played some quarterback for us last year, and he's going to continue to do that. He's one of the better athletes in the state, in my opinion, and we're going to use him that way. We're going to use him all over the field, and that's just going to benefit the team more.
And you got a couple of guys back as seniors, Chatfield, the running back, Walker, the wide receiver. That ought to help a great deal too.
Yeah. Samaj Chatfield, he came on late in the season last year, and he gave us a pretty good boost in the run game, along with Palmer. And he's had a dynamic offseason. So I'm really excited to see what his senior season is going to bring. Trey Walker, he's one of the best players on this team with the ball in his hands offensively. He actually had a pick six from the corner position the other night. I'm really excited to see what some of these guys are going to do.
Also, 7 starters back on defense. Coach, real quick, you're changing regions. You're going from Region 2 to Region 1 in AAA and kind of moving over in the Columbus area, and also Thomasville and Monroe and Daugherty. You got to deal with Albany and Thomasville and Columbus schools. Not that the region you left was easy. It was tough, and you won it last year, but that's going to be some really good football this season for you, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it. Everyone that wants to talk about our region, I honestly believe it's one of the toughest regions, if not the toughest region in all of 3A. I think it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight every week. You have 4 teams that were at least in the Elite Eight. And, you know, of those four, two of them were in the state championship game. And then you have others that are returning a good amount of their starters from the previous season. So I think it's going to be one of the toughest regions in the state, and hopefully our guys can step up to that challenge.
Should be fun. First game next week against Dooley County. Coach Smith, thank you so very much for being with us. We appreciate it. Good luck to you this year.
Thank you for having me.